Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and today we're going to be creating our own content type. And this is really cool because we haven't done this yet. We have used the content types that exist, which are a post, which is a page, and an entry, and then a kitchen sink. And the kitchen sink, of course, is just one that's going to show you all the options that Bolt has to offer. However, we're going to start a real simple, and it's going to be a member profile content type. So this isn't a user. This is, let's say you have a company page, and a company page is going to feature each employee, and then when you click on that person's employee, it's going to take you to a page where it has information about the employee and whatever sort of stuff you'd want to have. So the first thing we have to do is come to our Sublime text, and we need to browse to the app folder and then config in this content types.yml. And in here you'll see the other content types we already have. And there is even this possible fields down here to show you what possible fields exist. So instead of just copying and pasting one of these, we're going to type one out so we can see exactly how this goes. And so we're going to give it a name, and let's say this is going to be people. Well, okay, I gotta spell first. And then we're gonna do colon, tab for the next line, and we're gonna have the name of the content type. It's gonna be people. And next line down, we can give it a singular name, which, if you could guess what would make sense, it's going to be person. Okay, so not too bad. So we have our content type. Let's add some fields to it. So we're going to say it's fields, colon, space, and then we tab over another line, and we're going to start giving it fields. So what kind of fields do we want? Well, we want a first name, so we'll say first underscore name, and then the semicolon, space, tab, and we want this to be what type? Well, we want this to be a type of, and we could look down here to see what other ones are using. And for the title, they're using a text. If we scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see all of our options. And of course, text is what we want. There's also text area for larger text, but text is definitely what we want because it's just a name. So we'll say up here, type text. Enter. So if you'll notice on this entry, they have this class of large. And what this class of large does is it just adds the field with a larger font in the text field. Other classes would be wide or narrow, and you could even give it a label if you wanted to have a different label. But since we just want this to be a normal text field, we'll just leave it at that. Hit enter, backspace, and then we're going to do last underscore name, colon, type, text. Okay, one more. We're going to have job, and this is going to be what type of job they have. Keep in mind, in future videos, we could make a job its own content type, and then have this be able to reference a job that exists in the site if you wanted to get that complicated with it. If you only have like 2 employees, it doesn't really matter, but if you have like 10 employees, or where there's different job titles and that people are going to be switching titles or something like that, you could definitely create your own content type that is job. And one more, we're going to just call this description, and this is going to be a type text area. Cool. All right, well, what's next? Well, let's scroll down here to see what they have. And they have their fields. This is a relation. We're not doing any relations here, and we're not allowing them to have any taxonomy on this. So you might notice record template is entry.twig, and listing template is listing.twig. Let's scroll down here to see what page uses for things like that. They just say template, type template select, and they allow you to select your own template, and then kitchen sink is using the template select as well. So we want these to be their own pages. So let's look at this. We want record underscore template and listing template. So let's type record template, and this is going to be the template that an individual person is going to show up on. So we'll call this person.twig, and keep in mind this file does not exist currently, but it will. We'll just have to create it. And for the listing template, we're going to say listing template, and this is going to be listing.twig. And you could be wondering, well, we have listing.twig down here as well. How's that going to work? Well, you'll see in a second. And this stuff is fine. In fact, listing records 10, sort date published ascending, and records per page 10. It's all good. So we're just going to leave that stuff in here as well for this one. I'm going to fix the indenting on this. And this stuff actually all needs to come down a level on the indenting for it to work. So let's go there. Beautiful. Okay, cool. If you'll notice this sort of tabbed type of document, this YAML file, this is how it knows what's associated with what. So fields, first name is part of a field. All these things are part of people. So the tabbing has to be correct or else it won't work. So make sure that your spaces and tabs is all correct and exactly what you want it to be. And before we try this out, we're going to add one more field, and that's going to be this slug. And you may have noticed this in the pages and our entries. And we're just going to copy this slug, type slug. And since we don't have a title, it's going to be using their, let's say it's going to be using their last name. So let's have it be right down here. Oops, paste it in here, and uses last underscore name. Save this, and let's go to check database, and it says our database is up to date. So let's go to view people. We have no people. Notice how this shows up now. Let's create a person. My first name, last name, and you can notice that this permalink down here has my last name, and that's being taken care of from our slug. I'm a developer. Cool. So we have a description, and that's all we need. Let's save this person, and we have our first person. Super cool. So we have a new content type, we have some content, and it's all working out. So in the next couple videos, we're going to be creating those template files for this, we're going to be creating listings, and we're going to integrate this content type further into our site. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tuts. If you have any questions, leave a question or comment in the video. Hit us up at Twitter or Level Up Tuts. Just let us know what you're thinking. Thanks for watching. Bye.